Right, so this is my Pokemon types tier list. I'm just doing it based off of mainly gameplay and single battles, even though I find double battles the most interesting. I think that double battles, types don't matter very much, and abilities and movesets do. So starting off the top tier with Fairy type. Fairy type is absurdly broken. It beats Dragon, Dark, Fighting, which I put all of them quite high. And it's immune to Dragon, and its weaknesses are Steel and Poison, which you would think would raise Poison a lot, but we'll get to that later. Water type only has two weaknesses, Grass and Electric, both of which are often countered by certain abilities or secondary typings. Like Water Ground's pretty common, which kind of is electric, but it makes it worse against Grass, and then a few other types. And then Water Electric, or Water's weakness to Grass is countered by like having like a secondary Grass typing, or a lot of them are Water Ice, which beat the Grass. And yeah, it's just a really good type. But overall, it has the Rain weather effect, which I put with Sun as the best weather effects. Next I have Ground. Ground is probably one of my most controversial opinions, but I think that Ground is one of the best types of Pokemon. It's super effective against like Electric, Steel, Fire, Rock, and Poison. And it's only weak to Water, Ice, and Grass, I think. Obviously it doesn't affect Flying types, but often Ground types are paired with like Rock, and some of them, such as like, and even better, Steel. Ground Steel is an amazing type. You can see Excadrill, Alolan Dugtrio, and there was another one, at least, that I'm forgetting currently. Steelix. And yeah, it's just a really good typing, and if it doesn't do that well, it's because the Pokemon's not that good. Just hint, namely any one of those who is not in fact Excadrill. Dark type is one of my other more controversial opinions. I believe that Dark type is amazing. It's immune to your opponents can't use Status Phase at all if they have Prankster, which normally would be a good ability. So, and Dark also beats Psychic and Ghost, which are two great typings that honestly probably would have been higher up in Gen 1 had Ghost type worked, and had Psychic not been nerfed in Gen 2 with both Dark and Steel being added. Dragon type is really good, but it got nerfed a lot when Fairy was added, and Steel and Fairy Steel's the only type that resists Dragon, Fairy's the only type that's immune to Dragon type moves, and Dragon's now weak to Fairy, Dragon, and Ice, so it's hard to say that Dragon really does that much, seeing as its only offensive presence where it's super effective is other Dragons, but it is neutral against literally every other type, so it is still really good, and the Pokemon of Dragon type are almost always amazing. Electric type, really good typing. It's one of the only two types that beats Water, and it doesn't have an absolute ton of weaknesses. And it also beats Flying type, which is really common as well. There's lots of good Flying types, even if the type itself isn't that great. Fighting type has a lot of offensive presence as it beats Steel, Dark, Rock, Normal. And Fighting types tend to have a huge amount of physical attacks, like Conkeldurr and Machamp, which are amazing Pokemon in my opinion. And then there's, Fire type, really good offensive type that beats Steel, Bug, Grass, Ice. So Fire type kind of destroys like the lower tier types in my opinion. I really like using these types, but they're lower tier. Like, they're a lot more fun to me, not because they're worse, but because I feel like they're still really good. And I feel like the types are honestly pretty balanced except for Fairy, overall. Flying type's good. It's immune to Ground, which is a top tier, which really helps it a lot. It's weak to Rock, Electric, and Ice, which is not ideal, but it also beats Grass, Bug, Fighting, which helps it too. And often Flying types get like almost every Flying type has a secondary type, and those that don't are like Arceus, Silvally, Corviknights, Pre-Evolutions, and Tornadus. Ghost type's really good. It's like kind of hard to say for Ghost type because like it's immune to both normal and fighting type moves. Lots of them have Levitate, which make them immune to ground type moves as well. But Ghost beats like only itself in Psychic, and normal types are immune to Ghost as well. So Ghost is one of the weirder ones. It's also weak to Dark, which is not ideal. And then next we have Psychic. Psychic was like amazingly good in Generation 1 with like a third of all Pokemon being poison types. And then it was also it also beat Fighting, and Steel and Dark did not exist yet, and neither did Fairy. Fairy is completely neutral against it, but yeah, even in Gen 1 I feel like Fairy would have been the best type. And then we have Rock type. Rock is like the most balanced type, I would say, in Pokemon, because it beats Fire, Ice, Flying, Bug, and it's like really good offensively, but it's also really bad defensively. Even though Rock in theory is a good defensive type, like it's weak to Ground, Steel, and Water, which are 3 of the top 4 types, and it also is beaten by Fighting and Grass. So Rock type's kind of like a lower tier killer, except for just watch out for the Grass types, because Rock type really, it's not got like the stuff it needs to be in this tier, but I can't really justify putting it in this tier. Grass type Pokemon are extremely. Grass type is a strange type as well, and so is Grass and Poison are very strange types that are hard to define in my opinion for where they should go. Because Grass in theory beats Water and Ground, and Rock, which I put all higher than it. But then Grass is weak to Poison, Bug, Flying, Fire, Ice. So like Grass is weak to every type that is worse than it, in my opinion, because I believe Grass is the best of these 5 types. But Grass type's real strength isn't its offense presence, even if it beats 2 of the top tiers, because Grass type's real strength, in my opinion, is the move pool, where it has like Giga Drain, Horn Leech, Leech Seed, and all sorts of other good competitive moves. So I feel like it'd be better to have a Pokemon that learns those moves that's not Grass type. Poison type is also weird for me, because I really like using Poison type, because I like to poison my opponents, slowly whittle down their health and crush their hopes and dreams. Yeah, but it beats Fairy type, which makes it good. Honestly, I feel like C and B tier could be combined, but like Rock is definitely better than these 3. And Poison types can't miss the move Toxic, which badly poisons the opponent, and then it can be you can combo into like Hex or Venoshock or something like that, which will do double damage then. And then like Toxapex is a really good tank, but I don't like that it's weak to Ground and Psychic, because like Psychic's like probably the most common offensive move you'll see, whether you're against experienced players or inexperienced players. Just the move Psychic is just one that I like to attach to my Pokemon, and Poison's weak to that. Normal type Pokemon, and Earthquake too for Ground type. Normal type Pokemon are kind of hard to put, because they're not super effective against anything. Ghost types are immune to them, and it's resisted by Steel and Rock as well. Its moves are resisted by them. But the thing is, it's hard to justify ranking Normal lower when Normal's only weakness is Fighting, and Ghost types can't hit them either. So yeah, Normal's like really hard to say. Bug type, I really like using the Bug type for some reason. I just really like the Bug type Pokemon. And I like that it beats Psychic and Dark, which are great types. And I feel like if Bug didn't beat them, they would probably be top tier. But then Bug would absolutely be the worst type that ever existed. But then Fire, Flying, and Rock are pretty bad weaknesses to have for your Pokemon. I really like using Volcarona in particular, the Bug type, or Shuckle sometimes, because I like how the Bug type kind of works, because like Bug type isn't in its and of itself weak in terms of what Pokemon you have. Like you have great Pokemon like Yanmega, Scolipede, Volcarona in there. I know Yanmega and Scolipede aren't that great actually anymore, but Speed Boost and then like Tinted Lens and other stuff I feel could still do lots of damage to people who don't know about them, since they're not overly used anymore. Ice type is like one of the best types offensively, as it beats Ground type, Dragon type, Flying type, and Grass type. But then it's also one of the worst ones defensively, with fire fighting, I'm pointing at those in the wrong order with my cursor, steel, rock. So yeah, ice is also really balanced, but overall, I feel like rock is better. Rock is just like a better ice type kinda, because ice's only resistance is ice itself, which means that it can't even damage itself neutrally. I know that rock resists rock as well, but rock resists other things too. But honestly, I think I feel like this is a pretty fair tier list for the types. You should let me know in the comments what changes you think you should make, and if I should make one based on the Pokemon or the move pools that are in there, also ranking the types. I might do tier list for each individual type, but that would probably take a while. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.